Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew, and I'm an alcoholic. We want to welcome you to this platform here today. Regardless of what your addiction may be, you're welcome here. We support multiple pathways of recovery, not just one, but all. Whichever pathway it is that you choose, we want to make sure we're here to help, and we definitely want to make sure that it works for you. I want to pitch right in. Last night, I got a chance to sit down with an old buddy of mine from softball, baseball announcing days, and we're doing a podcast, like a podcast / interview to help promote this upcoming show, this wrestling program. That I'm returning to the ring for. And I don't think I was like 4 or 5 minutes into this podcast, and already I'm starting to talk about my alcoholism. I'm already starting to talk about, the effect. And mind you, this is supposed to be for wrestling. And we talk wrestling, absolutely. But I also started talking about how alcoholism affected me throughout that period of my life. And, I was thinking back this morning, and my son, whenever we were out on the road, my son hated me because he'd always say, "Dad, I can't take you anywhere." We'd go to the Waffle House. I'd break out into an AA meeting. We'd go to the 7-Eleven. I'd break out into an AA meeting. He'd say, "Dad, you're having AA meetings out in the parking lot at 7-Eleven." Everywhere I go and every platform I have to scream to the heavens above, I will use to talk about my alcoholism. And why? Well, again, going back to what we shared yesterday, what we talked about yesterday with chapter 7, whenever we have cravings, it's all constantly on our mind, right? And we don't know what to do with it. The first line of chapter 7, nothing, inasmuch ensures immunity from alcohol, from drinking, as intensive work with another alcoholic. So, and we talked about how that doesn't just mean sponsoring. That just means calling somebody up and talking to them about alcoholism, right? And I was such an alcoholic that, man, I still have to talk. I still have to talk about my alcoholism. Not that I'm having cravings, but but I still have to talk about it. And the reason why it's so important that I talk about it is a couple reasons. One, I remember what it was like to suffer in silence, to know that I had an alcoholic problem, that I was an alcoholic, and not share that with anybody. Will talked about it last night. He said, he sat beside me in the press box for, game after game after game, and he never knew I was an alcoholic, not until I told him. So I remember what it was like suffering in silence. So whatever platform I have a chance to jump up on, be it professional wrestling, be it baseball, be it softball, be it, exercise and nutrition, be it my job, whatever platform I have to jump up on and scream to the mountaintops that, hey, I'm an alcoholic, this is what it did to me. I do that. I take advantage of every single platform I can because there may be somebody else out there suffering in silence. So that's the reason, number one reason why I'm always talking about my alcoholism. And there's a second reason. And that second reason is really important to me because if I'm not thinking about my alcoholism is always thinking about me. See, I have a job, I have a career, I have, responsibilities, I have a mortgage, I have 5 dogs, I have kids, I have a house, so it's easier for me to get distracted from my alcoholism, from my past experience. It's easy for me to get distracted. Oh, I got to go cut the grass today. And oh man, now I got to run so-and-so here and I got to do this over here today. But see, my alcohol, its singular focus is this guy right here. It doesn't have those distractions that I have, right? So I'm kind of at a disadvantage. So if I stop thinking about my alcoholism and I stop paying attention to my alcoholism is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And that's exactly how that alcoholic mind creeps back up on us. And next thing you know, bam, we're right back out in the madness. I know a friend of mine, a gentleman that I highly respect in the rooms of AA. He's a running buddy of mine. I heard him say this one night. He said, alcohol is above my headboard doing push-ups, set-ups, jumping jacks while I'm laying there asleep. It's waiting for me to mess up. And so if I'm not always thinking about alcohol, if I'm not always talking about alcohol, then alcohol is definitely going to be thinking about me. And I don't want that. I don't want it to have the opportunity to come back in to my life and run roughshod all over my life again and destroy my life again. So I want to encourage you today. You may be thinking about your alcoholism. You may be struggling with that idea of taking a drink. Again, just like the big book said, and we talked about it yesterday, find somebody, work with another alcoholic. And it doesn't mean you have to sponsor them. Hell, it could be them sponsoring you. Hell, it doesn't have to have anything at all to do with the sponsoring relationship. Just sitting down and talking about your alcoholism to somebody. Just sitting down and being open and honest and sharing your thoughts. When I meet somebody, but usually within the first 10 minutes of me meeting somebody, they know I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm not shy about it. I'm not bashful. Hell, if anything, I'm proud. I'm proud of where I was at I'm proud of where I came from to where I'm at today. So if we're not always thinking about our alcoholism, if we're not always talking about our alcoholism, that alcoholism can keep sneaking back up and creeping back into our lives. But as I alluded to earlier, I will use whatever platform I have to. Social media, Facebook, I don't care what it is. I will use whatever platform I have to in order to let somebody know, somebody who may be out there not saying a word, just like I did, not telling their friends, not telling their buddies that, hey, I've got a problem. I will use whatever platform I have to in order to let somebody know that there is hope. There is hope. Because the first time I came in the rooms and I started hearing this thing called hope, I'd forgotten what hope was even like. So that little seed of hope that was planted produced some pretty impressive results. So don't be alarmed if you're thinking about your alcoholism, because I promise you this, if you stop thinking about your alcoholism is still thinking about you. And I'll leave you with that. I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. Kick-ass weekend coming up. Again, I want to say thank you for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you, because this helps keep me sober. And I definitely hope that you guys find some experience, strength, and hope in this as well. If there's a topic you'd like to hear me discuss, feel free to drop it in the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page. You can email it directly to me, Drew, D-R-E-W, at soberschool.org. Or hell, you could just instant message me or private message me right there on Facebook. I don't care. I'll take a look at it. We'll see what we can do. So again, I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. Remember, guys, you cannot get drunk if you don't take that first drink.